Okay, things are heating up, and it's not just the temperatures. Rutgers recruiting lands a couple guys, loses a couple guys. And what's up with Ace? Let's get to it. Okay, so as the temperatures spike, things are heating up. So are things with Rutgers football as we land a couple guys. But we also lose some guys, and this is the new landscape of player movement. More on that in a second. And Ace Bailey, what's up with him? He's getting a lot of attention, people scratching their heads over his approach to the NBA draft. We'll get to that in a second. Nonetheless, Rutgers lands a couple guys, and again, the theme that I've been talking about is not just getting the quality of guys, but the depth and the size and athleticism. And we are absolutely getting guys that are longer and rangy, athletic. We land cornerback Cannon Marshall. He another camp offer after last week. He's going to reclassify for 2025 class. That's a thing with us now. We're getting guys to reclassify. Follows Latrell Noel, who also had a good showing. And it's a good thing. These guys are excited to get on board and get the ball rolling, get the ball started rolling with Rutgers right away. He's 6'2", 180, 185, depending on whose numbers you listen to. A little bit on the slight side. Probably put on a couple pounds. Nonetheless, he's out of Rolesville, North Carolina. The coaching staff was already pretty familiar with him, as he and some of his teammates were here for the Scarlet and White game. And he's really excited to join us. And we've seen that a few times where guys are super excited to join Rutgers and join the staff. Some of his quotes were that Rutgers invited him to do a workout. After that, they showed him around, and he offered me. He said, Coach Shiano said he would love to get him up there as soon as possible, and he did. With that commitment, the 2025 class now holds 29 verbals. Third North Carolina prospect. So we've talked a lot about how the walls around New Jersey are crumbling as we expand our footprint, into Penn State's backyard, SEC territory, but certainly getting down in other areas like Ohio or North Carolina. We are now becoming more national in our approach. Cannon joins Isaiah DeLoach and Stephen Murray. And his thing is speed and athleticism. Now, Mike and Richie were talking on the night report yesterday about how he probably needs some refinement in technique. But that's okay. You're not going to come in a finished product with speed and athleticism if you're a four-star recruit. He played basketball, and I like that, because rebounding teaches you how to position yourself to rebound the ball, much like making a play on a ball. So I actually love that. And the fact that he also is a multi-sport athlete, also ran track, in 10 600-meter dash. He's been clocked 4.40. Absolutely, positively love that. Speed. If you remember with our Shiano 1, we wanted to increase the speed of the defense, and we weren't necessarily big guys, but I liked that we were going after bigger guys, longer guys, more athletic guys, but you can't teach speed, which is a likely why he was offered right away, despite not having an impressive offer list. So for the 2025 class, he joins Tariq Payer, Michael Clayton, Rennick Darius, Trail Noel. With the movement and senior transfers and portal and all that stuff. We've talked about this. When you commit early, you're going to want to get in the pipeline quickly and get playing time right away. And we're going to have to get used to this. Not just guys entering the portal, getting guys in the portal, losing guys in the portal, committing, decommitting, all the movement. We're going to have to get used to guys needing to get in there sooner. And maybe there'll be a finished product. Maybe they won't. We'll see how that works out. But nonetheless, with his speed, he can likely outrun any mistakes, although you don't really want to see that. But one thing that used to drive me, the guys that sit in section 124 with, historically, we would always laugh about it on deep sideline patterns. Guys would never turn around. It's like, turn around. They must have been taught don't turn around because you might lose a step. But they would often run into the receiver or just not even see the ball. But at least when you have 4.4 speed like that, and he'll probably increase that a little bit, you have the pure speed ability to be able to track that ball, even if you initially get beat a little bit. So, nonetheless, I like the potential upside there. I like the ranginess, the length, and the speed. Hopefully, he can work out his technique and we'll be good to go. We also signed 3-star defensive lineman Reece Beck out of Pontevedra, Florida. And he also was at Rutgers camp earlier this month and decided to commit this week. 6'5.5", 250-ish. Again, another tall, kind of rangy, athletic guy. He committed via telephone call with Coach Ciano. And Rutgers getting back into their old stomping grounds for recruiting in Florida. He joined safety Sebastian Cruz. Scott Falone was the main guy in the recruiting for that. And like I said, he's a mid 3-star prospect. He's graded out around 85 on 247. And I think this guy's got some upside. Some quotes from Beck is that Scott Falone was his main contact. He said he got home and he called him 3 times. Not after he committed, but before he committed, which I guess leaves an impression. And he went back for private workout and he talked to him 10 times since then. And in the new world of player movement, guys committing, decommitting, transfer portal, you might need a staff just to be like a customer service rep, to keep in contact with players. Nonetheless, Beck goes on to say he was there, he balled out, he met with head coach and he told me, we want you. That's another theme that we always talk about and see how these guys want to be wanted. Said he went home. It was basically a no-brainer. He talked to his parents and decided to commit. It was great. Also, one thing that he said that we talk about a lot, and that guys who cover the program talk about a lot, and things that coach talks about a lot, and a lot of players don't necessarily talk about this because they don't see themselves in this way, but he said that another factor was they're able to develop kids was another factor. Developmental program, as coach liked to say. He's going to play some defensive end. So Beck went on to say he liked the coaches. It has great academics. And I thought it was kind of a funny quote. He's like, I was surprised because the D line room has a combined 3.5 grade point average. I don't know that D linemen aren't supposed to be that smart, but when I love that we have that balance. We have a defensive line with a B plus average. And he said that's a priority for me, and I will get that if he goes there. And I like that. A lot of recruits are talking about the academics because we now know that they're professional athletes. I don't know if they're being coached to talk about the academics or not. This is how they really feel. But one of the main reasons to be in Big Ten, say versus SEC, SEC has some good schools. Vanderbilt and Florida are rated very highly in the college ratings report. Won't get back into that. But the Big Ten is the conference that people generally recognize as having that balance between really good academics and good athletics. And then he went on to say playing in the Big Ten is the best competition. And again, he mentions he can develop there because they are great about development. I talked to all the coaches, and they said if he went there, he'd be developed. You can't really say that about many programs nowadays. So he's got kind of a mature old soul there. He's kind of like an OG like me. He's like when programs are not about developmental, they're going to offer the bag, expect you to play, and then they know that you're going to move on. So not sure what part of his game. I did watch a little bit of film on him. We'll get to that in a second. He worked out for several other programs, including Syracuse. It's always good when you can beat Syracuse. And Toledo, we can kind of laugh at those Ohio teams, but Toledo's doing pretty well in the recruiting game. I know Mike and Richie were talking about their recruiter yesterday. So they offered Colorado State, UNLV. This was an interesting quote. He said, to be honest with you, it was his first time on campus at Rutgers. He said it blew everything else he's seen out of the water between the facilities and everything. It was amazing. Now, we here at Rutgers always tend to kvetch and moan and whine about how we aren't spending enough money on athletics and players and facilities, and we're slow to build facilities. But I guess Toledo, Colorado State, Syracuse, and that UNLV don't have great facilities. I don't know, but nonetheless, as I said, I saw I expected a sort of tallish, rangy, quick defensive end. For the OGs out there, maybe like Fred Dreyer. But what I was really surprised about, he wasn't just this tall guy who was going to speed rush you on the outside. He had a pretty nice inside, who had some physicality, pulled some guys over, had a bit of a bull rush. It's 6'5.5", 250-ish, 80-inch wingspan. This guy's got some really upside. So I think he's got some insight into what he can become when he talks about being a developmental guy. Good speed, 4.69 40. If you can put on a couple LBs, maybe another half inch or so, you're 6'6", and now you're 260, and you have a 4.6 or better 40. Boy, you can wreak havoc. One of the other things that I don't remember where I saw this. I don't know if it was the Night Report or On the Banks or Todd Racon or whatever. He was a part of the 1,100-pound weight room club. He posted a 495 squat, which was great, 280 power clean, 255-pound bench. He's probably going to have to up that a little bit, and he'll get in the Rutgers weight nutrition program. and up that. He finished as a junior with 22 tackles, 16 solo, 4 tackles for loss. I've seen eight sacks, but I've also seen 12 sacks. So who knows? 12 quarterback hurries and a fumble recovery. But he had a lot of offers. He had like 18, 19 other offers. I don't know how many were actually Power 4, but you know how these things go. We're on it early. Teams figure it out. Oh, Rutgers offered. And along those lines, what recruiting and the portal giveth also takes away. You know, we've made headway into recruiting in areas we haven't had success in the past. We've done better in the portal. And I've said this a lot. You know, as we are expanding our footprint into backyards of traditional powers and winning some of those. And haven't talked about this much. We like to talk about the wins, but when you go into those areas, it also means you're going to lose guys to other powerhouse Power 4 programs. This is all new ground on retaining recruits outside our usual protocols and modus operandi. So, yeah, we're feeling good that we're not just going against, you know, Delaware and Boston College and Temple and Syracuse and UMass. I mean, and we're making headway, and that's a positive step for us. Maybe not for others, but for us it is. But now you're kind of poking the bear a little bit, where those other programs are going to say, "Hey, all right, we're going to steal our hometown guy or guy from our area away based on our history, reputation, and we all know about the bag." Offensive lineman Tyrell Simpson flips from Rutgers to Virginia Tech. He had double-digit offers. Now, App State, who, quite frankly, often they're pretty good. Florida, Kentucky, Marshall, Liberty, and some others. 6'7", 345-pound, 3-star recruit. Love the size. Talked about size, especially in the trenches, really important for us, and we're doing much better than that. He said it's closer to home, and he has a great relationship with the coaches. We hear that a lot. When we sign guys, they talk about those relationships. He was the number, according to On3, to 59 offensive tackle in the 2026 cycle. So we lose big boy in the trenches, but we lose another guy that I thought had really good upside. We lose Edgewater, Florida linebacker Justin Edwards. He flipped from Rutgers to Miami, and Mike and Richie from the Night Report had talked about how this is a possibility. You know, the university, like, you can't compete with Miami on the grounds as well. It's Miami. And they tend to have money. They do. And there's going to be times when we don't win those battles. I mean, it's New Jersey, in between Philly and New York. Yeah, okay, we got the Jersey Shore. It's great. Guys can enjoy themselves there. Going to New York City, maybe going to Philly. But nonetheless, he 6'2", 205 pounds, was On3 had ranked number 9, or not Edwards, but Miami's recruiting class is ranked number 9 nationally. So he's joining a program that's not on the way up, joining a program that's already there. Said he liked the coaching staff, the players, the environment. She said he's a Florida boy, so it feels like home. That's the other thing you have to be aware of when you're pilfering people out of their backyard. Maybe they didn't get a lot of attention early, but if they do come around to offering, there's a good chance that they might sign with the hometown team. Unless you're from New York, New Jersey area, you just kind of want to get away from the craziness. It's the same thing with us for decades. If we kept a majority of our best athletes and students home, we'd be unstoppable. Talked about how he's going to fit into the scheme in Florida. And he said when he went to Coach Cristobal's house, it felt like home. And he talked about how much he bonded with the players. No mention of the bag, though. I'm starting to think these guys are coached, or at least have the instinct to know. Talk about what sounds good. He was the On3's nation's number 53 linebacker. And I talked about this, a few videos ago with his length, speed, and explosiveness. He can probably grow into being a potential to be an elite edge. Right now, he's a 3-down linebacker prospect. He's got some twitch to him. He's got some athleticism and speed to him. And one of the things that kind of hurt, not only do we have Mario Cristobal, ex-Rutgers coach, but Edwards apparently, when he was in Florida this past week, he bonded with Corey Heatherman, who we were all rooting for to join Rutgers defensive staff. So Corey Heatherman hopefully won't be too much of a thorn in our side, but nonetheless, Edwards is one of the 2 off-ball linebackers in this class. Position we definitely need to get some depth and upgrade with. We also lose defensive back Real Kelly. This kind of surprised me, but not really, because why is this guy so far under the radar? Not so far under the radar, but he didn't have, a multitude of Power 4 offers. But he was a guy that's pretty good. He's 247, 3-star guy, number 85 safety. He, depending on whose number 900s nationally, around 1,000 at the 2026 recruiting class. Little lean, 6'3", 175, 180. From Cincinnati, Ohio. From Toledo, Bowling Green, and some other programs. But he was fast. And again, you can't teach speed. 4.49 40, 4.34 shuttle. We again lose some speed, length, and athleticism. And those are things you can't teach. You can teach technique, but not speed, length, and athleticism. But, he's going to Alabama, and you can't blame guys for going to Alabama. But, they still have their reputation. They're still Alabama. Nick Saban isn't there anymore. Getting playing time is a thing. He joins, a 5-star recruit and Jordan Edmonds, and a 4-star recruit, Zion Gibson. So unless you're much better than people are giving you credit for, might be a little bit getting some playing time. And here's where we can make some headway. Recruiting guys that are really good. You're not going to start Georgia, Alabama, Michigan. Okay. We'll take a year or so to develop you. You'll be in there and you'll be playing right away. Of course, you might not get the same bag, but nonetheless, some wins, some losses. It's something we're going to have to get used to. Hopefully, we don't lose too many, or else we're just it's a new system, new era. We're back where we started if we lose ground. Ace is wild. What's up with Ace Bailey? Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania thinks he's a little nuts. You know, Ace is having sort of a choppy relationships with NBA teams who are looking to draft him. Governor Shapiro says, a quote from him is, I'm worried about Ace Bailey. You're not coming to work, then you've got something wrong here. Apparently pointed to his head. I think this was a Cotter Cunt article. He said he's sent a message about that, implying that he spoke to the Sixers about trying to dissuade him taking Ace at number 3. Goes on to say, I just don't like that. He's got great talent, great upside. But if you don't want to be here, if you're not dying to be here, I don't want you to be here. Ace, I don't really blame you. It's Philly. But when you have a choice, a shot at being a number 3 pick in the draft, there could be worse things that can happen to you. But, you know, you always read the quotes about him being a polarizing prospect. And he's not helping his case. Well, yeah, I'll get to some of that in a second. But, you know, the guys on, pardon the interruption, PTI, they had thoughts. Frank Isola called him delusional, stupid. Michael Wilbon said stupid, referring to Omar Cooper, Ace Bailey's agent. Somebody needs to turn it down in that camp right now. I kind of agree a little bit, and I'll get to that in a second, because Steve Politi also posted today that Ace Bailey will make executives look like dopes. Maybe. Or at least executives that don't draft Ace Bailey look like dopes. Maybe, maybe not. It's not like Ace is not a finished product. He has some athletic upside. As a distributor, needs work. Defensively, needs work. Shot selection, needs work. He's got a lot of holes in his game. So it's not like he's a no-brainer finished product. I mean, Ace is thought to go number 3. We also know who went number 3, and his name was Michael Jordan. Nonetheless, in more basketball news, we are getting a visit. 4-star guard, top 100 recruit is actually 64-65 out of White Plains, New York. Josiah Jervis, 6'5", depending on whose numbers you listen to, 165. He's, well, that's a little light. You know, I've seen some 170, 175, but watched a little bit of film on him. Nonetheless, he's expected to visit us as the 60, 62, 65, whatever recruit he is. Number 8 shooting guard by 247. Number 4 player in New York in the 2026 cycle, at least according to On3. He's won 3 consecutive state titles at Archbishop Stepinac. Offers from Northwestern, Illinois, Virginia Tech, Villanova, North Carolina State, a bunch of others. Another guy that talks about, you know, when he was talking about Northwestern, he said he's serious about academics. He likes that about Northwestern. Likes to put in the work, not just on the basketball court, but in the classroom. So that's a good thing. Watched a little bit of him. It's really smooth stroke. There's no quirkiness. There's no elongated shooting motion. Just a smooth stroke. Averaged 16, 5, and 3. there's been a lot of talk who's going to be the scorer on this team, the go-to scorer. If we do land him, he's probably the odds-on favorite to be that guy that many wondered about who would be the guy that would be our designated scorer. Nonetheless, that's it. A bunch of news. It's been a long time no see. Not a lot of news. Then it all comes at once. Nonetheless, everybody enjoy your week. Hope you get through the heat wave. You're gonna want to cool down a little bit. Have a couple of these scarlet ales to beat the heat. Nonetheless, everybody enjoy the week, and we'll see you the next time.